What's up, guys? We're back with it. We got Michelle the Ninja. What's up, girl? How you doing?
What's up? What's up? Happy hump day.
Yeah, happy Hump Day. Yeah, we're back at it again, episode three. We got some different topics, different styles, stuff like that. We're doing. Well, actually, you know what? Same stuff as far as relationship, but this girl over here wants to take control of the reins over here and do her thing. So the floor is
I
yours.
just got a story because before we started recording, I went and he went, and it made me think of like I think it was yesterday at work. So I was sitting at a different desk than like my usual one, and I was on this chair. I was on this chair that was like like rubber or whatever,
Mhm.
and I like moved, it was like, and then I like moved again. It was like, and like I looked behind me, and my coworker, she was there, and she just like didn't say shit. Like she just ignored it. I was like, "Yo, Tina, I swear that was not a fart. Like it was the chair." And she like laughed. She was like, "Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything." And I was like, "No, I swear it wasn't a fart." And then this other kid walked by like 5 minutes later, and I moved again, and it farted again. And I was like, "Whatever, dude. Like if he thinks I farted, then like I farted. Oh well."
Hey, it's okay. Girls don't fart, right? Or wait, no, they don't poop.
No,
Well,
neither.
yeah, so but
Yo,
that's just funny though. I've
I was
happened. Go ahead. What's up?
I was dating this kid, not a kid, grown ass man. He would fart. I'm not kidding. Every minute and a half. When
Like
when
everywhere
we
you were at, don't matter where you're at, he's just like, "What? Let it go."
well we would chill at his like house at his mama's house a lot, and we would just be like watching shows, and he just like and he'd giggle every time, and like at first it was like kind of funny, not really, but then I was just like, bro, you're gross, like shut the fuck up, shut your fucking butthole up.
I mean, since we're on the topic of farting and shit like this, I've so like how you're getting used to somebody and shit like that. Well,
Mhm.
usually what happens is like I'll laugh and I'll laugh really fucking hard
If they fart
and I'll
or if
fart.
you fart.
It just bat. It's like it's funny, but it also is kind of like, all right, we break the ice. Drop the first one, but it would just be like,
Drop the first
I
one.
dropped the first one, like my man, like because I'll
You
be just
gotta, the man
laughing
has
and
to drop the first one, right? Like,
yeah, but I'm just like, and it'll just happen though. Like it could be something like something stupid funny, and I'm just laughing my ass off, and then it just oh shit, like just comes out, and they're like, "Did you just like, yup, like my bad?" And then they're just laughing because of that, and they're laughing because I'm laughing so hard and I'm
yeah.
farting, and it's like just a ripple effect, and it's like, oh, it's like it's hilarious. So yeah, but
see,
speaking of that was
see, like,
reminding me of that.
that's fine. Like, if it happens, like, on the rare occasion, like, if you try to hold them in and then, like, every once in a while one slips, like, that's fucking funny. But this kid was farting every minute and a half to 2 minutes. And I was like, bro, stop. Like, fucking stop. Like, it's gross. Like,
How
it's
old was
cute.
he?
33.
Oh wait, was he the dude that sent me the picture? That
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, whoa, that's weird. I figured out how to fix when it freezes. You hit the little thing at the top that says HQ. Mhm.
gotcha.
Just saying, I was frozen again.
I
I'm
wonder. I
just
wonder.
too icy.
I wonder if it has to do with like your how like you leave your phone asleep. I wonder if you have to disable that.
I don't know. Maybe it's a MacBook, so I don't know. But when this is a funny topic, when do you think is like acceptable to fart in front of someone like you're dating? Like,
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's in my situation, it just happens because it could just happen. I mean, I try not to happen on the first date and stuff like that, but typically that's like usually that's how it
yo,
happens. That's how it happens. but it kind of breaks the ice, so it's like.
No, if you fart on the first date, I'm out of there. That's a no for me. Unless I don't know, I really like you, maybe I'll think it's funny. But if someone just rips ass in front of me like day one, like fuck you, no.
You're like, peace out.
Yeah, peace.
Red flag. Nah, but that's typically. I mean, it's not really a right time, I guess. I mean, ideally, if it just happens, it happens.
I mean, if he can't control his ass, what other parts of his life can he not control, you know?
True. But I mean, what if he was holding it for a really long time? I mean, and that should just
Go walk to the bathroom, bro. Like get up.
what if you guys
I'll
were
be
in the
right back.
car, or like you guys like
Open the
man.
window and push it out slowly.
Like you're like, hold go, hold your breath, turn the AC all the way up. Oh. Oh shit! But I mean, for me, there's not really a right time. I mean, it just happens because, like I said, I'll be laughing so fucking hard, and it'll just pop. And it's not like you know how like you fart and that's it. No, like mine's like like a backfire, like because I'm like laughing so hard, and it's like whatever's left up in the back of the tailpipe just trickles on out. And it's funny though, but that's just
that's
how it always
crazy. I
happens.
never knew that about you. The more you know, this podcast really brings out the real.
Yeah, yup, yup. So, but I mean, if you can't control it, I mean, you're right. Go take a walk, go to the restroom, or
Go take a walk.
like go walk off and go look at something and just like rip it like away from her and come back. I mean, there's different ways you could go about doing it, but yeah, I mean, I don't think you should be dropping some bombs. I mean, especially if you don't know what they're gonna smell like, obviously. Because what if you had like a I don't know, deviled eggs or some shit like that? Yeah.
I gotta show you one of my favorite memes ever. Hold up.
Oh yes, I came over here to fart. Yes.
He's like, why so lonely, cutie? And she's like, I came here to fart.
Yep.
But yeah,
that's just hilarious.
This dude like farted so much. I questioned him so many times. I was like, "Are you okay? Like, do you have IBS? Like, do you need to go to the doctor? like, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
I mean,
and it started pissing me off. I swear to God. Ugh.
I mean, there's a right time to do it and a not good time to do it.
Like I said, if you don't and he would always his logic was like, "Whoa, if you don't fart in front of me, you're hiding something." And I was like, "No, I just have etiquette." And then I don't fart, but if I did, theoretically, it let one slip. It was funnier because I wasn't constantly farting. It's like when you tell the same joke over and over and over again, it's not funny.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny the first couple of times, but then after that, you're just like, okay, like relax, like it's old, like your ass. So
you ever have someone that really liked you or wanted to be your friend, and you have one joke, you had one moment that was funny, and that was it, and it was your inside joke, and then they just proceeded to continue the joke over and over again because they want you to like them, and they just kill it.
Yeah. You're overdoing it and okay, chill. Yeah. I think everyone's probably had something like that or a few of those in their lifetime. Yeah, for sure. But that's a very good weird
opener.
All right, Brady, we're here talking about fucking farts and shit.
We keep it real on Niko Ninja.
Yeah, let's hear about those farts in the comments. Let's hear about those embarrassing moments. Or weird moments. I mean, whichever end that you were, either you're the farter or non-farter. So
wait. So wait, I got a question, a follow-up. So you'll let a fart rip, right? But what happens if you're out or you're with your bae, your boo, and you shit your pants? Do you tell them?
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, I guess I mean it depends on the situation, but I mean, if I shit my pants, I'd probably immediately go to the restroom and not tell them, and clean up my mess, and they'd be like, "Why were you gone so long?" Like, I sharted, and yeah, I had to take out my chonies or whatever, my briefs and box or whatever, and just throw them in the restroom. Like, let's go home. I'm like,
one
wait,
time
what the fuck?
One time my ex told me, this is a long time ago, he was at work and he's like, I was I was walking to Dunkin' Donuts and I shit my pants. And I was like, oh my God, like, are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I went to the bathroom and I took my underwear off and I put them in my pocket. And I was like,
Why
why?
would you put some in your pocket? Like, you gotta wash your jacket now. It's all like rubbing all over the place. Like, oh man,
In his jeans.
fail,
And
fail.
just throw them out. They were Hanes too.
Yes.
They weren't no Calvins. They weren't no, I don't know.
Shit. I have had shit myself one time, and this is like during COVID. So, um,
Well, that makes
man,
sense.
it was. I got really, really sick, and my daughter was sick, and so at the time, uh, you had to go get tested and stuff like that. So, her mom got sick and stuff, and what ended up happening, she's like, "Oh, I think you tested too early. Blah blah blah. You need to get tested again." I probably tested like 4 times in 2 weeks or something like that. And so I go back and I go testing, and it's not too far away from my house at the time.
Mm.
And I kid you not, I go in there, and I don't know what happened the day before. I don't know if it was because of me being sick. And I'm like, dude, like my stomach's hurting, like, and so it's pouring, raining, everything. I have my daughter, like she's about maybe 3, 4 months old, if that, maybe yeah, about 3 months old, and I'm just like, dude, and I'm at the stoplight, and I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, and it just came out. I
In
was
your
like, oh,
car?
I was sitting there, I was like, oh. That was the only time in my life that I ever did that, and it came out, and I was like, I've never experienced that. And I was like, damn, I did that like on the way back from a COVID test. And yeah, that was the only time. But she was funny though, like explaining the story to people and all that. But I was like, yeah, I went to go get a COVID test when you're like 3 months old, and I shat myself for the first time. Yeah, and it was funny because I was like, I had to unbuckle my seatbelt, and I wasn't just gonna fucking sit in it or whatever. So I had napkins, whatever, and I just tucked it in. The cop is sitting next to me. I was like unbuckling my seat, and I'm over here. The cop's looking at me, and, and
Imagine
I'm
if
over
he
here
pulled you
like,
over.
oh, and he was just like, and
He
I just
knew
put my
some
suit
shit was
back
going
on.
down.
I put my suit back on and made a U-turn. I was like, fuck it.
Were you by yourself or
It
was
was,
your daughter?
yeah, my daughter was in the back seat, so I was just like, just trying to make it, at least messy as possible. And it wasn't a lot. It's not like I shat like a fucking log or something like that. It was just a little squirt, you know.
But it was
Um,
enough.
it was enough to like know the difference. But yeah, I was just like that was like the highlight, and I will always remember that. She was funny though.
You don't forget that.
No, no.
No.
But it would have made it even more interesting to just the look on the officer's face was just like, and I just like, he's like, why did he take his seatbelt off and then put it back on? He's over here doing shit in his ass or whatever. Oh, just
Uh,
like he probably was like, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. And I couldn't roll the
imagine.
windows down because it was raining, or it was raining. So,
Oh
uh,
God.
but yeah, that
I.
shit was funny. It was like it was what, 2021. Yeah.
Uh
Somewhere in
huh.
December. Somewhere in December of 2021. Yeah.
I have two stories. One is going to the grave with me, unless I don't know. It's got to be a one-on-one. It's not for the podcast. But I had COVID. But the other story is kind of funny. I was dating like my ex. So I was so into him. Like he was like, you know, and I was living in my apartment And this like was really early on. Like this was within like the first month. Like I want to say this was maybe like the
What the?
fourth or fifth time we hung out, and he stayed over. But for whatever reason, I don't know why, honest to God, I was like in my room sleeping on my bed and he was on the couch. So the day before, literally the day before, one of my best girlfriends at the time called me and she's like, "Oh my God, you're never gonna believe what happened." And I was like, "What happened?" And she's like, "I was in my bed and I was sleeping naked and I woke up and I shit all over my bed." I was laughing at her
What?
so hard. I was like, "Ha ha ha, you shit your bed. How does that even happen? You're," I was like giving it to her. And what's it called? So then that night, my my boyfriend stayed over and he was on the couch in the living room, and I wake up and I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "What's happening?" And I woke up and I'm sleeping naked too. Literally next day. And I shit on the bed. I was like, "Oh my," I was like, "Oh my God." I like ran to the toilet. I'm like, I run past him in the living room. He's like still sleeping, but I like woke him up. I'm like holding shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm like holding my ass, like running to the bathroom. And I'm like, and then like I took care of everything, and I come out of the bathroom and he's like, are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I just shit my bed. I just ruined my avocado sheets."
What?
And I was like, "Wow, that is such karma," because I just laughed at myself
Yeah.
so bad the day before. And I'm like, what are the odds? Like, that was instant karma. Like,
Oh
but
man. So did you offer? So then, did you offer him any of your milk duds? Just kidding. Uh, that's
it wasn't
crazy
like
though.
that. Yeah, and then obviously I called her like immediately, and we proceeded to die laughing on the phone for like
That's
20
funny.
minutes just crying. Like, it
The
happens. Shit happens.
literally the fact that it happened to her, then you the next day,
Yeah, you can't
like
make it up. Yeah.
yeah, that's
So,
that's crazy. I
mhm.
haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
like, yeah, I'm gonna get to
I'm
it,
pretty
just not
sure
yet.
eventually, like probably when I'm old and like I just like oh shit. I did my mom's I guess we call him my stepdad or whatever. Um he shit himself. He was a FedEx driver or whatever, and he was on his way to work, whatever, on his way to work. And I remember my mom picks up the phone and he's like, "Hey, can you bring me a extra change of clothes?" Because my mom had to go the same direction for work. She's like, "Yeah." Like, what happened? He was like, "Well, I farted and shit came out." so, so yeah, like it's like I was like, damn, like I'm about 10 years away from that. Like, yeah, because he was in his like 40s, almost 50s or something like that. So I'm like, I'm getting there, but eventually it's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, my stepdad's ex-wife, they were in Mexico, and she drank the agua there, which you're not supposed to do, and they were like in a
Ooh,
mall, and she was wearing white pants, and like shit happens. But I'm glad we just talked about this for like 15
like
minutes.
20 minutes just straight talking of whatever about fucking farting and shitting themselves. Yeah,
Human
that's
nature.
yeah.
Anyways,
I mean, it's
on
all
to the
natural.
onto the
It's all.
relationships.
So I mean, if we're talking about shits, I mean, when do you poop in the same restroom? Because I do have a friend.
No.
She has been with them for a long time. She's been with them for a long time, and she's like, yeah, like I don't poop when I'm with him. I'll go and like she's like, I'll go to the store, I'll go somewhere, I'll poop somewhere else. I don't
What?
want to miss out. Like, and they're living together now, and yeah, and it's crazy though because like, uh, hopefully she doesn't get mad about me talking about this, but whatever. Um, yeah, like you just and I guess it's a girl thing. Like you don't want them to smell your poop, so they use a different restroom than they normally use for like there's a number 2 restroom and a number 1 restroom, so you don't have to like, smell each
I
other's
mean,
poop.
everybody has to go.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
absolutely
I
right.
mean,
I'm explaining it wrong, wrong
no,
than
it's
what you do,
just like
but
that's crazy. There's like ways around that, like just instant flush it, poopery, like
I don't know. But some
open a
people could.
window,
Uh,
spray.
yeah, true. But I mean, you
I
could
mean,
tell though, like.
how do you live your life with a partner that you can't like poop in your own home? Like that's crazy.
I mean, they poop just in a different restroom, I guess. I don't know, but I get it. I get it
So
because
the
I in my house, like when like my partner's over, I won't poop in my regular restroom. I'll go use the other 2 fucking restrooms in the house, all on the other side of the all on the other side of the house, so they don't have to hear if there's any sound effects, which usually not. But like it just stays over there. You know.
uh the real estate asks you, "What are you looking for in a home?" I need 2 bathrooms. Why? Oh, just cuz.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it makes sense.
But if you have 1 bathroom, like you just got to,
It is what it is. It's
yeah.
natural.
Yeah.
It's natural. Use incense and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, getting into our normal topics and stuff like that. Um, doing a little something different today, so I kind of wanted to bring up since we do game it up,
Mhm.
and I seen this and it's kind of it was funny, but it was kind of messed up in its own way. But let me uh, let me get to it here. So hopefully you can hear this.
No, don't.
Am I supposed to be hearing something?
Why?
So she shut off his PlayStation.
It's all I have.
While
If
he
you
was
feel like a
gaming?
man is neglecting you because of video games,
No.
I do not
Mm-mm.
recommend doing this.
One time my mom did that to me back in the day when I was like younger. There was a switch in my room that controlled the TV and the PlayStation, and she just flicked it off. I was like, "You can't do that!" I was like, "You can't do that!" Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I mean, like I understand why he's gaming because I mean we game it up and that's kind of like we like to do it most importantly. And
Mhm.
as an adult, instead of going out to bars and everything, having responsibilities, for me, it's a way to quiet the noise, to escape whatever, and I can go and I can just focus on whatever I'm playing. Um,
Yeah.
so I get it, maybe he's playing for 3 hours, but I mean, so what? Let him have his time, he needs to have that's his him time, especially if he's a husband and a father and having that time to just kind of quiet the noise to have a little bit of fun, which is kind of messed up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't have like the normal perspective. Like, I feel like a lot of females don't like when their dudes game, but like, I'm the one where, like, if I'm in a relationship with you, like, I'm out, like, every relationship I've had that's been serious, like, we game together, like, in the same room, like, we got 2 TVs, like, we're fucking, like, I remember like one whole summer basically me and my one ex just played video games. Like I still try to remember like what happened that summer, and I'm like, I think we just gamed like the whole summer. Like when we weren't working and we were spending time together, like we were gaming. So
That's what's up. That's cool.
couples who
That's
game
different.
together stay together, for a while.
For a while until one of them
For a
gets
while.
bored of until one of them gets bored of that game and moves on to something new. Like I don't know, Call of Duty.
Fuck Call of Duty, oh my god.
Yeah, but no, I mean I've been in relationships where you know even if it was like 30 minutes, like, hey, like I'm gonna go, like, oh yeah, go ahead. And then it would turn around and be used against me, like, oh, well, go play your game. And it's like, dude, like, I'm that's my outlet, I'm home all the time. I don't want to go out party, especially during COVID too, as well, It's always been my thing. Anybody that knows me, like, I like to just jump on, play a game here and there. Sometimes I might play for a long session. Sometimes it's like maybe 30 minutes here and there. Is it every
Yeah.
day? No. Maybe I have a long session on the weekend. It just, it's just depend on your mood. Sometimes you want to play a
Facts.
game and you sit there and you're just like, I'm not feeling it anymore.
Um, I found like there's been like a couple guys who were like interested in me in the past, and like they didn't play games at all. Like that's like honestly, that's like one of my first questions. Like, do you game? Because I'm a gamer. Like I've been gaming since I was like well, computer games since I was like 3 years old, and then I got my GameCube in first grade, and then I got a PlayStation in third grade. So like I'm a gamer, and like I don't know, like if you don't play games, like that's crazy to me. Like that's a big part of my life. Like I don't even
Yeah.
care what game you play. Like if it's not the same game, like oh well. But if you don't game at all and you don't get it, then like you're weird. Like
Yeah.
that's a turn
Yeah.
off for me. And a lot of my exes have been really good at video games, which is hot.
That's what's up. Um, I mean, yeah, I can see that because it's a part of your, I guess, identity. And you do it for fun. It's your escape. It's what you're good at. Some people aren't good at like sports or education shit like math or just anything at all, but give them a controller, throw them on a game, and they can pick up all the games that they play pretty quick. And it may just be one game that they like playing over and over and over again, and that's fine. But yeah, absolutely, because the same thing with me. Like, I grew up when games first started, with the regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo and 64 and all these generations and stuff. So it's a part of me too because I'm like, oh, there's a new game coming out. Like, oh, MLB The Show because I love baseball, but I also play in all these other different games. So I would want someone that would be understanding. That hey, like let me play a little bit, but don't use it against me. Don't look at it as a bad thing. At least you know where I'm at. I mean,
Yeah,
if I
exactly.
was a chick, I'd be like, fuck, go ahead, play that game. I know where you're at. I know you ain't texting anybody. Like you're just doing your thing with your boys. Even if you're gaming it, like even if she was gaming with the fucking homie or whatever, like cool, do your thing. Like it is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty cool. To
Yeah,
because you make friends. I mean, for us, for
obviously.
example, yeah, you make friends all over the world, and you get to you know, um, talk to them, and you may never ever meet them. I mean, maybe one day y'all want to meet up and kick it and stuff like, and now you have a friend all the way across the country or across the world. It's in different, culture and dynamic and everything, and you guys can relate because and bond over a video game.
Hell yeah. It's such a great escape, and like I said, I like to share that with people, whether it's friends or partners, like when we can rip a game, like that's so much fun. Like you're like escaping the world and going somewhere else together. And like there was like periods in my life, like when GTA 5 came out, I think I was like a sophomore, and like I ripped that game for 6 months, and like my life was like GTA. Like I was in that game. Like that's like my memory of like that time. Like, and I think that might sound lame to some people, but I think that's like pretty cool. Like you just like,
Yeah, you just
yeah.
it's like you can't wait to get home to jump on that game to continue the story to unlock this, unlock that.
And like the friends you play with, like that game with, like that, like, it's
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I believe was it the San Andreas one where you can actually have like a two-player hookup and have like somebody roll around with you too, which was pretty cool. But I mean, now everything's online, so I mean, it is cool.
Yeah.
It is cool where you're like, hey, let's go rob a bank, let's do some heists, let's just drive around and shoot things and fly whatever, and have
Yeah.
crews and stuff. So I mean, yeah, it's cool. But again, it just helps you escape the real world, and I feel like if that's that person's thing, it may not be your thing, but respect them and the time that they want to put aside to do certain things like that. Um, but yeah, absolutely though. I mean, you definitely got to, if you are a gamer, you would ideally you would want somebody to play the same games because you could sit there and you know play it together. I mean, I see a lot
Yeah.
of that like on social media too, where you have like couples that come home from 9 to 5, they make dinner, and then they game it up, for however long,
Yeah.
and they go to sleep. Obviously,
That's
they don't have
that's
kids, but yeah,
Yeah, but honestly, that's like awesome. Like I was saying, like me and my ex spent a lot of time playing games together, like in the same room, and like that was kind of like before the streaming era. And I was like, I so wish streaming was a thing then, and I was streaming because there was some funny ass moments then, like
yep,
it definitely would have been dope. But oh well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but
But
I
yeah,
mean,
ladies, let your mans play the games.
yes, you know where we're at, you know what we're doing. We ain't
Exactly.
texting, we ain't snapping, we ain't in anybody's DMs, Facebooking, or whatever else you want to call it. What do you call it? Thread? Did you call it?
Threads.
What are threads? Yeah. Or TikToking. um,
Snapping.
yeah, all
Yeah.
that stuff. At least you know where we're at. We're enjoying ourselves. We're there, and ask us questions about it. Like if you really want to know what be a part of that and why he does it, ask us questions like why do you play the game? What makes you like so into it? Like what's cool, you know, about it in the storyline, and you're gonna just you'll definitely see a different side of your partner when you do stuff like that because then it's a whole new topic that you guys can talk about for sure.
Also, like, don't insult it if you don't understand it. Like, I've had people just straight up tell me, like, Fortnite's stupid. And I was like, you just, like, insulted something that I, like, as silly as it sounds, like, I care about that game. Like, you know that. I put so much into that game. And it's like, for you to just be like, oh, it's stupid. Like,
Yeah.
okay, thanks. Like, what else am I supposed to say now? Or, like, someone else I know, a friend of mine, I told them I stream and they're like, I just like don't understand why people watch people play video games. And I was like, I don't particularly like I'm not someone who really watches streamers. I watch Ninja, that's about it. But like again, you're insulting what I'm doing
Yeah.
because you're like, why are people watching you? And it's like some people enjoy it. They don't play the game or they're not good at it or they just want to watch someone else. Like, so what? If that's what they like, you
And
know?
by watching other people, you learn things
Yeah,
that
technique.
yeah,
Like Ninja, when I watch Ninja, I get better at Fortnite. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, for sure.
Mhm.
So
So, respect people's hobbies.
yeah, whether it's a gaming console, a PC gamer, even if it's a handheld or if they're playing mobile, like let them do his thing, let them have fun. Even if he's playing that Candy Crush, like
I was just thinking
oh, like
that.
just let him have his like moment. So
Yeah, if something makes someone happy, like let them be happy. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to show that video because I thought it was just messed up where she just went in there and just shut it off because he was playing the game because she probably wanted him to go do something that she wanted him to do.
I mean, if you don't have a balance, that's one thing I'll say. Like, if you only game, you don't really know how to do anything else, or you don't do anything else, or you don't show people in your life attention, then, like, I could see that
Oh
being
yeah,
frustrating. But
yeah,
we don't know the backstory. Maybe he literally was just playing for an hour, I don't know.
yep,
So,
yep.
That everybody should look for in a partner is something called psychological stability. The best way to gauge it is after you've had a disagreement or an emotional perturbation of some kind, how long does it take for them to get back to baseline? Just get back to normal. If it takes them a day and a half, that's not someone that's not particularly psychologically stable because things are going to continue to happen. You can't stop the psychological perversions coming in. You can just deal with them more quickly. You're late for a flight or something like that, and that's the rest of the holiday completely wrecked because this person simply can't get over it. That is going to be a very difficult relationship. And it's very poorly predictive of relationship satisfaction. So psychological stability is not only something that you should select in other people, but it's something that you should aim to cultivate in yourself. One of the best things that everybody should look for in a partner is something called
So what are your thoughts on that?
it's very important. um, I think one of the saddest things that can happen to someone in this life is to fall in love with someone who has like a void in them. Um, because for a while you're just going to try to do everything you can to make them happy, you know, because their bad
Yeah,
days outweigh their good days. They have way more
yeah,
bad days than good days. And for a while, you're just going to think, oh, it's a phase or this or that. And you're going to do everything you can to try to help them. And then you're just going to reach a certain point where you're going to realize nothing is going to make this person happy. They
can't
are
save them. You can't save them.
psych they are psychologically, emotionally, mentally damaged for whatever happened to them for whatever reason, genetics, childhood trauma, I don't know. Um, but loving someone like that is really hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the reason why I want to bring that up though is because that hits home for me. Like my kid's mom was exactly like that. Like whatever would happen, it was always negativity, and I didn't really learn this until like after my eyes opened
Mhm.
up, and I went to therapy because my it like you said, it's draining, and you can't save them, and you do everything that you possibly can to make them because you think it's a phase. And so I spent years like, trying to do that, and I didn't really think about stuff. And so, that's what I was kind of trying to touch up on last episode about, mental stability and and having that conscience of, you know, that exactly, letting things go and dragging them out and where it wrecks the whole weekend. Because I went through that to where whatever would go on, even if it didn't pertain to me, it wasn't even my fault. It would be like, oh well, it's your fault because this has happened, and it just emotionally and mentally exhausting, and it literally just sucks the life out of you to where you just don't know who you are anymore, and then people are just like, "What's wrong with you?" And they feel like you're depressed, and you don't know what's wrong with you, and it's just a very vicious and toxic cycle, and it sucks because you obviously don't you don't know whatever everyone's seeing, and so when you exit out of it, you see that you're like, damn, like I really put myself through that just because you love somebody so much, because you want them to be happy in life, but they're walking around like the world owes them something, but it's not your job to fix them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
It's
That's a
tough.
tough one. That's a tough one I still deal with to this day. I think I don't know.
Yeah. So that's big for me. That's like the number one thing now. If you can go through a situation, like you said, like a flight or something kind of bump in the road, and you're able to handle it, and it's not a bringing it up 2 days later and stuff, like that is huge for me.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. But on the same token, I also will say, like, some things, I think it's a red flag when certain people get over certain things super quickly.
oh yeah,
Like, like, I can't really say the example. But let's just say you do something to someone that's not great. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, admittedly, you'll be like, yeah, that was shit. And you even think like, they probably won't forgive me, whatever. And like the next day they're like, oh well, it's fine. Like, let's get back together. And you're like, it's fine? What do you mean? Are you sure? Like, you're not mad. And they're like, no, I'm not mad. Like, that's also a red
yes,
flag. I think holding on to things too long and also getting over things way too quickly. Like, it's good to move past things, but also, like, it's just natural that some things are going to affect you for a little bit. And to pretend like they don't, like something else is going on there,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, it does because it's like, oh, you're not mad now, but you made a big deal about it, like what changed or whatever, and so you're just
Yeah, it's
like,
like very quick.
yeah, so kind of like yeah, it brings up a little bit of a red flag, and you're like, well, what what happened? But you do have to process stuff and move in a healthy manner. But I absolutely agree with that 100%. Because then, as a person, you're still gonna have that back in the back of your mind, like, well, why do they like? How are they moving past it so quickly? And it could be other, situations you've had in the past. It'll make you question that, like, well, why didn't you do that with this? So
Yeah. And like with this one particular situation that comes to mind, I would like bring it up like multiple times fairly quickly. I'd be like, no, 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 like we should really talk about this. And they'd be like, no, I don't want to. And like I'd be like, okay, well when do you want to talk about it? When I'm ready. Then like a couple days later, hey, we really should talk about this. No, 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 I don't want to talk about it. A couple days later, hey, this is still lingering. Like, can we talk about? No, I don't
yeah,
want to. And then like, a couple weeks later, oh fuck you, blah 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 blah, and it comes out, and it's like,
yeah,
this is why I wanted to talk about it, and you didn't want to talk about it. So that's not cool. You can't pretend like it's not a problem. It's not a problem, and avoid it until all of a sudden you're bubbling, and then you bust
yeah.
weeks later.
And that's unhealthy because you're suppressing your feelings or whatever you have going on internally. So
Yeah.
absolutely. And then you
So
kind
I
of have to
guess
walk on eggshells during that time too, because you're like you feel their vibe though too. I mean, depending on the person too, their vibe can be off, and you're just like, I'm waiting for this conversation. Like, are they just gonna go off, or we're gonna have a set time? Where like, hey, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I think overall it's good to get stuff out of the way and communicate about it quickly and try to get over it quickly, but it's not good to pretend you're over it when you don't talk about it and you just say, "Oh, it's okay."
Yeah. Now, when you're talking about certain things like that, like you want to have that I guess a deep conversation, and you keep bringing it up. What if they're I guess like a keyboard warrior, so all they want to do is complain about it through text messages. But when it comes time to sit down and talk, they have nothing to say. They're quiet as hell, and you're just like, dude, like you. But the moment you walk away, they're, oh, you're this, you're that, you're this, and it's like, why are you hiding behind a screen? Like, why can't you be mature and do this in a healthy environment, a healthy way, to where I can listen to you, to where words. I mean, when you do arguments through text messages, some of the words can get misinterpreted, where you're like, oh, well, what do you mean by this, or like, oh, whatever. Like, it could mean whatever tone they're reading that in, and so that's why I feel like, you know those conversations have to be in person, but having to deal with somebody that doesn't communicate like that and wants to go through texting and do the whole let's talk about it that way, it can be frustrating. I'm sure you've experienced that.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially in the past, and I would get into it too on the texts, sending paragraphs and shit like that, and I just learned I was like, nah. Nope. Mm-mm. At least on a phone call, if not in person. Some things you just have to talk about either, like I said, on the phone or better yet in person, unless you're breaking up. But yeah, no, text arguments, nope. I just don't reply. Mm-mm. Nope. I'm not gonna do that. I'm beyond that at this point of my life.
Yeah. It kind of sucks though, because you know that there's going to be a conversation, and so you're kind of on edge. Like, if you're at work, that's literally going to be in the back of your mind until you get home. Like, because I know I am. I'm the type of person like, hey, you know what? I'm going to call you in 10 minutes. Let's figure this out. Like, I don't want to just have this lingering. Let's just get to it, and just resolve it so we can continue on with our day, and then be happy about it, or make it into a positive energy at the end of the day. I
Hmm.
don't want to go to bed, or I don't want to, me personally, like I said, I don't want to have that feeling throughout the day. So
No, I'll just let it go. I'm
yeah.
at that point, I just don't give a fuck. You want to be mad, be mad. I don't care.
Go sit in the corner.
Yeah, go sit in the
Go kick.
corner.
Go kick rocks.
Kick them rocks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, that's a wrap. You have any last comments, suggestions, thoughts? about pooping or any of such nature?
As
Any
usual, eat ass, smoke grass, go fast. That's how I end every podcast.
All right, guys.
So.
Thanks for tuning in. Again, give us a like. Throw in the comments. Let's hear about your farting experiences, stories, all that. Everything we talked about today. Let's hear it. We wanna see those comments there, and give us a subscription. And yes, cheers. We out here. We'll check you out on the next episode. Thanks, Michelle the Ninja. You'll find her info on the bottom. The links, all that stuff will be in the description. We out.
We out here though.